Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
Welcome to ArchRivals Football. Here is your starting lineup. Number 20, Darnell the Playmaker Salads. Number 94, Alex the Bearman Kazzaz. Number 24, Ricky Litwinkowich. This show is sponsored by Raz Energy, DreamControllers.com, and Steiner Sports. ArchRivals Football is a Pain Train Pipe Bomb production. What is up, everybody? It is Tuesday night. It is the 19th of October, week 6, officially in the books as we set the calendar year for week 7 of the NFL season. With me tonight is the Bearman, who is currently riding in the dark. We like that way, though, because it could be mysterious. The Bearman, Alex Kazzaz. What's up, Bearman?
Hey, Ricky, what's going on?
So, I got to ask you, what was your opinion on this weekend's games for week 6?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I actually had a good week as far as the picks go, but it was a little saddening that I could not be on with you and Darnell last weekend.
Believe me when I tell you that it was a very interesting show. I will say that. It was a very interesting show, and it was the memorial for Mr. Fleming. So
Indeed
that's actually kind of
was.
cool. That critical Broncos fan, yo, thanks for coming back, bro. He has the comment in the YouTube chat of Bearman or Bigfoot being hid and seek champ. That's pretty funny. I'm going to give it that. So just a little bit of on a side note that if you don't really feel the energy this evening for the show, I'm a little under the weather. It's going to be a really, really horrible week. And Saturday should be rough because as of right now, currently, it's only myself and Bearman on Saturday. We will not have the wonderful playmaker with us on Saturday, so that should be interesting.
It's always interesting.
Yes. So
The show must go on. That's
that
what Mr. Fleming would tell us. The show must go on, gentlemen.
actually critical. It's actually a real life family situation that's going on right now. I lost a family member over the weekend, and I hate to say it, but football took a back seat over the weekend. So, as much as I would love to sit there and kind of like bounce around with the jokes and everything else, yeah, it's a little bit of a different situation. So, we're here to entertain, give you the best we can with what we got, and that's how that works. So.
Before we go on, Ricky, I got a quick question.
Sure.
Did you lose me for any second because my computer froze, but I just got it back running?
I wasn't really paying attention to the screen, but for those out there, if we did lose you, then we got you back at least.
Okay. I mean, it was like frozen, but then it just, it looks like it freezes, but then it just comes back. I guess it just kind of stopped for a second, but everything's cool.
So if you guys are currently watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or listening to this later on, please share this show out. Let's get some people in here. Let's have a really good conversation about the weekend. Obviously, there were some teams off this weekend. The 49ers were off. The Falcons were off. The Jets were off. I don't remember who the other team was, but I know there was 4 teams off this weekend. So it kind of made it interesting for picking games, a shorter schedule, which meant records in itself were going to be a challenge. But, and the Saints were off. Thank God. We didn't have to see the Jekyll and Hyde of Jameis Winston going on. All right, so as we said on Saturday, we did have Tampa beating Philly 28-22 on the Thursday night schedule. But we're going to kindly move through the schedule here. We had Miami and Jacksonville over there across the pond in London. So I can make that a little bit bigger for everybody. And let me tell you, this was a upset special. An upset stomach special.
Well, I guess in our case, I should say, because Darnell actually picked the Jaguars. So unfortunately, we're not going to hear the end of it from Darnell, at least not until this week. Until the end of this week, I should say.
Well, the Jaguars apparently never lose in London, first off.
Yeah. But, actually, they did one time when the Cowboys played them back in 2014.
I will say this, though. My normal Sunday routine for watching games, even this weekend with all of the catastrophes and everything else that were going on, I woke up at 12 o'clock. Surprisingly enough, the game was still on. So I caught a little bit of the fourth quarter. And I will say this. The Miami Dolphins, who were picked to finish in the second spot in the AFC East. Looks like they may be fighting the tail end of the crapper with the Jets in the bottom of the AFC East. Tua did return, but it wasn't enough.
Well, as far as the Jaguars go, is it safe to say that Mr. Trevor Lawrence was long overdue for his first NFL win?
I think the Jaguars overall were just due for a win.
Yeah, that's true. But I probably should have understood. I think I must have overestimated Mr. Tua Tagovailoa. I still can't even say his name. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But, I mean, I'm not sure if I should say it was Tua's performance. But, Tua came back. And when we think of Tua, it's his health that scares us the most. But Tua actually had a very respectable game. Had 329 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. So I guess that, like I said, the Jaguars, 0-5, and it's Urban Meyer's first NFL win, Trevor Lawrence's first NFL win. So congratulations to them. All the drama as of late with the Jaguars, they got the win. So hopefully they can move on.
Yeah, to like another 13 more losses.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling they'll be fighting the Detroit Lions, the Jets, the Giants, and I think 3 or 4 other teams that only have one win in the first third of the season for the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I mean, according to Mr. Critical Broncos fan, who, by the way, he can definitely see me now, so I'm not hiding in the dark. But yeah, Tua, horrible pick, but it's unlucky. It's unfortunate because of the injury history. But
Well,
I mean,
I'm gonna do something to kind of drive everybody a little bit bananas. That's better. Magic. I switched it around, so it actually looks like I'm talking to you. Moving on.
Everybody knows. Everybody should know about me. I don't like having the lights on.
Unless
it's very necessary.
This is why he only likes to broadcast during the day.
No, I'm good at night. Do it at night.
So, next up was the battle at the nation's capital. Both teams pretty much hapless going into this game. Kansas City visiting the Washington football team, or the fuck the team in Maryland. Final score, Kansas City 31, Washington 13. Kansas City became an actual decent team after the first half on Sunday. Mahomes actually looked pretty decent in the second half. Threw another pick, though. He threw another pick, which might be a little bit of a cause for concern. And the cheetah not looking so cheetah-like.
Well, the main thing about this game is that the Washington football team retired the jersey of Mr. Sean Taylor, after what happened back in 2007, and this is merely my opinion, but this should have happened a long time ago. Wouldn't you agree?
It should have definitely happened a long time ago.
And I shouldn't say that Sean Taylor was killed because he was in fact murdered. There's a difference.
See, the issue here is this, okay? The ownership of the Washington football team, Washington Redskins, however you want to paraphrase their identity, they dropped the ball on this a long time ago. Daniel Snyder is an idiot.
Yeah.
Whoever the GM for the Washington team is an idiot. And you don't just automatically say, oh my God, we forgot 14 years later. This man died. He was probably one of the best players in the NFL at that point. And I would love seeing his career go further than what it was to see what kind of magic we would have had. Maybe we would have had another Ed Reed running around, another Troy Polamalu running around. But at the same point, though,
oh yeah,
you don't just spring it on your fans 4 days before the game that you're just going to immediately retire a jersey like that. That should have been on the schedule, if anything, the beginning of the season. So,
oh yeah,
I give the general bird to Daniel Snyder and the people who run the Washington football team. I hope you all get into a short bus and go off the side of a cliff. That's only putting it bluntly, by the way.
Yeah. But as far as Mr. Sean Taylor, rest in peace. I send my deepest condolences to the family, and it's unfortunate the Washington football team got destroyed on that day. And I'm looking at and basically my theory from the beginning of the season after their opening loss to the Los Angeles Chargers is that the Washington football team is still forcing turnovers. They're still sacking the quarterback, but they're being overwhelmed as far as performance goes because the Kansas City Chiefs had just about 500 yards of total offense. So the Washington football team, it's still out there, but it's definitely regressed a little bit from last season.
I will say this, though, that in hopes and prayers that somehow not only did he get recognized for what limited time he had as a player, but as a person. But I will say this, though, that there's going to be a plethora of teams who are probably going to sit there and say, hey, man, I think we really should crap the bed for this guy, this quarterback, or this wide receiver, or this defensive tackle, and pray. However, yeah, I don't know how well that's really going to work out, but Hey, like, it's just, it's one of those things, man. Like, I really think that's going to be an issue.
As far as the Washington football team goes, I think if I were to, well, I'm going to make the prediction. I believe that their goal is to get a quarterback in the first round. I mean, they don't have a quarterback right now. I mean, Tyler Heineke, I got the faith in him, but he's not the franchise type. I mean, he can play great. He's a great player, but he's not the kind of player that you would see he's the future of the team.
Well,
and I mean no disrespect.
let's also go to mention, though, that I don't think they don't have a lot of weapons. And I say that generously because there are other teams that have weapons that just can't do anything with them. You know, kind of like the next team that we're going to talk about here.
Well, before we do, I gotta tip my hat to the critical Broncos fan. Yes, Taylor deserves better. Okay, and I gotta say the fact that the trial for the burglars who took the man's life, the fact that there was always delay after delay after delay. I mean, that's what really made my damn blood boil. But happens, right?
So we go from a halfway decent game to a. I wish I had the funeral dirge for this one. The LA Rams go into MetLife Stadium. Blowout, spanking, ass kicking, ass raping, balloon knot untying. The Rams did all of that to the New York Giants on Sunday. And
I just can't imagine the look on Darnell's face as he was watching this game.
Again, I said this, that Mr. Jones should have not played on Sunday.
Nope. And I was actually shocked that he did. I mean, you saw how he got hit against the Cowboys. Like, you saw he tried to jog and he collapsed. You saw it.
Not for anything. He looked like a palsy victim doing surgery with one arm. I'm not even fucking crapping you when I say this because I started to watch the game, and then 5 minutes in, the game went off. Not even going to joke. I saw Tony get hurt. I'm like, oh, that's the end of the game. Let's turn this thing off. Boom. Done.
I mean, as far as the Giants go, I mean, their current injury list, it's probably going to be the longest list in the team's history. So the Giants have been around for a long time.
Right now, the Giants are going to be currently looking for some wide receivers and secondary help because the Giants lost another wide receiver to a broken arm during the game. Tony messed up his ankle. He was in there for, I think, like 7 or 8 plays, and he was gone. So the walking wounded of the NYG, which I heard now is Next Year Giants, is their new slogan. Not New York Giants, it's Next Year Giants. For showing up at MetLife Stadium and playing games. Stephen Wolman's in the house. Stephen, you know the deal. Hook us up. It's a very somber Tuesday.
Of course, Stephen pops in as we're talking about the New York Giants and the LA Rams. But I'm not surprised. I mean, the only surprise out of this game was the fact that the Giants at one point actually led. I mean, they took an early 3-0 lead, which, of course, is going to happen. It's the beginning of the game, whatever. But then the Rams are like, all right, they took the lead, fun's over, now we're going to destroy them.
You know what they were really saying? They're like, Vegas is spotting you 9 points to start the game. We're going to give you an additional 3. We're going to put you up by 12. We're going to give all of the betting people in Vegas and Atlantic City and wherever you place your bets some glimmer of hope, a glimmer, that we are just going to say, hey, guess what? Ha, fuck you and your 12 points. We're going to score 38. And then we'll give you 1 score, and that's it. We're not doing anything else after that.
So the Rams were basically being a bit generous, right?
They were being kind.
Well, okay, should we say generous or should we say merciful? A bit merciful.
I don't think they were even being merciful.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah.
I think they were just being lucky to say, hey, we're gonna let the Giants into the building, and we're gonna own their home. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, no mercy, no holds barred.
All right, so next up we have the Houston Texans, who utterly shamed me on Sunday, even though he convinced me that I really should pick the Colts.
Wait,
and I did.
Darnell convinced you?
Yes, he convinced me
Okay.
that because I really thought that this game was going to be a ton closer. After seeing Houston play the first 5 weeks of the season,
Oh my god!
I gave them credit, and
You
the Houston Texans they untied my blue knot on Sunday because I really wanted to say to you guys tonight and Saturday, oh my God, look what the Houston Texans did, and they scored 3 points.
We could still say, look what they did. They got their ass kicked.
Yes, by 28. I don't know if the Houston Texans feel as bad as the New York Giants do, but they got smoked.
I mean, the dude who's supposedly, as you say, sprained his ankle, both ankles on the same play, 11 for 20, 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. But look, the Colts, I mean, the way they played, you could just tell they were pissed off because of what happened that previous Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens. Like, they were mad. They were not only mad, but they were humiliated, and they needed a way to take out that anger and frustration. So therefore, they did it on their long-term arch rivals, the Houston Texans. Well, I should say the arch rivals are the Patriots, but in this particular division, it's the Texans.
I may go to add that the play calling for the Houston Texans, a 5-year-old could have coached the team better. I'm not even going to say this when you go to it. If you look at their running back roster, they have, I believe, 2 Pro Bowlers in their backfield. They can't get any one of them started. Okay, that's one. 2, I'm not very keen on the idea that Mr. Mills was sat there and pretty much given to the Colts defense. And I mean like sacrificed given. Okay? So, like, that's really kind of a big thing. And when you have the quality of running backs in their backfield, you kind of would expect better. And I have not seen a certain running back play at all this year. I may be wrong, but I've not seen a Mr. Burkhead play, and that's concerning.
Well, as far as the Houston Texans go, I mean, I think all hope is lost for the season. I mean, they might as well. I mean, the only thing they have left to go for is the higher draft pick.
Well, at this point, I know they are cleaning shop. Because as of yesterday, they released their franchise defensive lineman, Mr. Merciless. And it'll be interesting to see where he goes, let alone knowing the fact that he's not on a team currently right now. But, yeah, that's a very, very weird thing to say, hey, let's get rid of our best defensive lineman and send him on his way. And maybe he'll go win a Super Bowl somewhere else because it won't be with the Texans.
My question is, did they release Mr. Whitney Merciless at his own request?
No.
Like, did he request this?
I believe they did it as a cap.
Okay.
I think that was a whole cap deal.
Well.
So that's going to be weird. And now I'm just seeing the Kareem Hunt news is he's going on the IR. So that should be even more fun for the turds. I mean, Browns. I mean, the dog pound. I mean, Cleveland.
Mr. Merciless, I wonder if the Cowboys have been in contact because the Cowboys' defensive line is depleted.
Wouldn't you think he maybe might be going to, like, Green Bay or something? That would be interesting. Because Green Bay looks for everybody. Green Bay looks for everybody. Okay.
He won't be out of a job long, I can tell you that. I think by this week he'll have a job. By this Sunday, I should say.
Moving to I believe it's still called Ford Field. Or I may be wrong because I just know it as Ford Field. We had another shellacking by the Cincinnati Bengals over the hapless, winless Detroit Lions. Final score 34-11. And I really have to ask this question.
Right.
Because now it's through 6 weeks. the Detroit Lions have been blown out in only 2 games and find ways to lose. And Critical is giving up the 0 for 13 for Goff away from the Rams. Are the Detroit Lions really, really that bad? Or is it just that they just don't have any luck?
I think it's just, well, number one, yeah, there's no luck, and I think they are that bad. I mean, poorly coached. There's no passion. There's no leadership. And the list goes on. Okay, and the fact that Detroit, I believe they're the only winless team now. Does this remind you of something? I mean, this is a little bit of how should I put it, blast from the past, because back in 2008, approximately 13 years ago, the Detroit Lions went on to become the first team to go 0-16. Could this happen again?
You know what? I hate to say it, but as much as I want to celebrate another 0-16 season, I really don't think it's going to happen. At some point, we're all going to put our money against Detroit every week for the rest of the season. And I can't even put maybe a mark on it. I'm saying, well, again, I don't even know the rest of their schedule, but we're going to end up putting our money on a team like a Chicago or something like that. And they're going to end up fucking beating, the Lions are going to end up beating them. So, again, like, I don't even know, to be honest with you. Like, I really thought that the way they were playing the first 5 weeks of the season, that they were going to be in a little bit of a better standing. And we actually had some hopes and dreams of them winning 3 out of the first 6 games, maybe. And, no, they've shit the bed as well.
They shit the bed, and got to give credit to Cincinnati. Joe Burrow had a great game, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And
Joe Burrow is my starting quarterback on my fantasy team. Go figure.
That he is.
Okay. A game where the discount double check became effective. The Cheesehead Green Bay Packers travel to Chicago against the Bears. Final score 24-14. Packers. Aaron Rodgers, 3 total touchdowns in this game. Tells the Bears fans that he owns them and gives them the double bird, saying, "You are more than number 1 in my book." The only thing I can say about this is this. I think now Aaron Rodgers is really, really getting a little too cocky for his bridges.
I mean, it's not like it's going to backfire on him.
It backfired on him last year when they lost in the playoffs.
Yeah, but overall, all the records, he already has a Super Bowl title. He was a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, overall, it's not going to backfire.
Listen, I am waiting for the day. Now I know the Packers are 5-1, but I'm waiting for the day that somebody just really dumps him on his ass and he breaks his clavicle again, and he's out for like another 8 more weeks. Because I understand it's the heat of the moment. You're playing in a game. You haven't lost to the Bears in God knows how long. But maybe the man bun was tied too tight or something like that. But he's really, really just getting a little too cocky for his own good.
I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, of course, me as a Cowboy fan, the Cowboys are playing good and go to the playoffs. If we have to beat the Pack, well, oh my God, why the Pack?
My thing here is this. Did Justin Fields have a decent enough game to say that he's progressing, he's regressing, or is he just in neutral?
I would say he's still in neutral, but it kind of seems to me that he shows signs of being unstuck because he's stuck in neutral overall. He's stuck, and he'll show signs of breaking out, but then boom, he stays put.
Do we have the Justin Fields line, by the way?
His stats, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the stats right here. Would you like to hear them?
Sure.
16 for 27, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Not the best numbers, but for a rookie and him playing against Green Bay and, being in a Chicago, being on a team like how he, we didn't expect him to play at all, and now he is. So I would put his stats at an average level. An average in this case is respectable.
I don't know, 16 for 26. Is a 27. Okay, so it's still a little over 50% completion percentage.
Yeah, so that's why I have it listed in the category of average.
I don't know. I don't think it's really good for his rookie year as of yet.
I mean, it's like you explained earlier in this before the season. He's not ready, and now we're seeing it. But he is doing better than I anticipated. I'll have to give him that. I mean, he's not doing horrible. We can't say he's horrible.
I still don't agree with the fact that he's playing right now.
But he does have potential. I'm not gonna take that away. But yeah, it really must be humiliating for Chicago fans to hear the unfortunate truth from Aaron Rodgers. I own you. I mean, sometimes I ask myself, is there another fan base that can't stand Aaron Rodgers more than the Chicago Bears?
When you play them so many times because it's a division foe. I mean, I don't know. Can you really say the same about Detroit or Minnesota? I mean, I would have to say over the course of time that he doesn't have a good record against one of those teams.
I mean, as far as the Bears go, the Bears and Packers, that's the oldest rivalry in American football.
Okay. Moving on. A game I called to the T on Saturday. The Baltimore Ravens hosting the
oh boy
LA Chargers. Did I not call this one on Saturday?
You did, and as Mr. Darnell himself described, I was left on a certain island because I'm the only one out of the three who picked the Chargers.
Let me tell you, this was a massacre from the beginning. From the beginning. Now, as much as everybody wants to praise Justin Herbert on how good he is,
I mean, that's me.
Okay, you're going to Baltimore. I'm not saying Baltimore is one of the easiest places to play, but when you've got 60,000 fans, all dressed in black, a la the Oakland Raiders or the Vegas Raiders, death becomes an issue. I have never seen a performance the way the Baltimore Ravens did that to the Chargers in my life. That was horrible.
It was too, because and I think you called it this way too. Like, you expected this game to be high scoring, didn't you? Because I'm pretty sure that was you.
I said that the main thing that I was concerned with this game was A, Baltimore's defense, and B, the rushing attack of the Baltimore Ravens. They have way too many talented guys, former Pro Bowlers, that are filling in for the guys on the Ravens in the Ravens backfield. Okay, Latavius Murray is a former freaking Pro Bowler. Le'Veon Bell, former Pro Bowler. My God. Oh, and then you have Lamar Jackson running the ball. Did they not rush for over, I think it was like 230 yards on Sunday?
Yep, that's right. It was actually 187 yards. And LA only had 26 yards on the ground.
There's your difference. Ball control. And I ain't talking about when you're sitting there in the bathroom either. Baltimore took it to the Chargers big time on Sunday. I think the Chargers were due for a stinker in Week 6. They had potentially played strong the entire year so far. So maybe it's one of those ones that if you go to look back late in the season, say, hey, that's a game we really should have played a little bit better. But now, the AFC West, those standings are changing even bigger now. And I'm going to give you guys a really, really good version of White Guy Anger live on ArchRivals Football Season 3, the Week 6 recap. The Minnesota Vikings travel to Carolina to visit the Carolina Panthers. Final score, Minnesota 34, Carolina 28 in overtime. And the next time somebody, whether it's during the show or after the show, says to me, are you out of your fucking mind? They will get stabbed in the eye with a 6-inch metal spike that's been lit up and burned with a blowtorch.
Oh, boy.
We went over this legitimately because this was a toss-up game. This, I said, was a trap game. This was going to be one of those games where it could legitimately go either way. Minnesota couldn't beat anybody in a wet paper bag, open on all ends. And Carolina had started off strong. Yes, they don't have Christian McCaffrey, but they have now decided that Sam Darnold needs to revert back to his New York Jet days. Thank God he's wearing the same number. Because he has played just as shitty the last 3 games as he did in his entire Jets career.
So I guess we were wrong to say. So it seems that Sam Darnold was not set free after all.
No, I think he's probably still partially on a leash somewhere. And like some type of like barbed wire pit surrounding him or something because McCaffrey is a big loss. However, the turnovers are becoming a problem again. Okay? And I did on Saturday actually show some praise to a Minnesota Vikings team that I really didn't think had a chance in this game. Okay? We did the comparisons. I said it all together. That pound for pound at a lot of spots, Minnesota was better. And surprisingly enough, Carolina did come back and tie this game late. However, they just couldn't take advantage of overtime.
No. Nope. And, speaking of Sam Darnold, I got his numbers. 41 attempts. And out of that 41 attempts, you know how many completions he had?
No.
Want to take a wild guess? It's not even 50%. I'll tell you that.
Wait, he had 41 attempts?
41 attempts.
16 completions.
Well, very close. 17, actually. Now, I can't do the math, but I can tell you that's definitely way less than 50%.
41%, the critical Broncos fan. Critical, okay. You need to message me on Facebook later. I think you need to make an appearance on Saturday.
I definitely think he should. But anyway, weren't the Carolina Panthers 3-0 at one point?
And now they're 0-3.
3-3.
They're 0-3 and they're West 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
And and the Vikings, I was like, they have to win this game. And I believe, did Darnell pick them too? Or was it just me?
I think all 3 of us picked Carolina.
I'm pretty sure I picked the Vikings. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I'm not, and I'm looking at the stats. Panthers had a defense. The Minnesota Vikings, 571 yards of total offense, and almost 200 yards on the ground.
Dalvin Cook's back now, and he's healthy, which is a big bonus for the Minnesota Vikings because now it kind of evens their offensive attack. Oh, and by the way, could you kindly do me a favor? Could you get me some quarterback numbers for the Minnesota Vikings, please?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get me Kirk Cousins' stats?
Yeah, I got them right here for you, brother. Tell me when you're ready.
Go for it.
33 for 48, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Does that mean we can finally stop pissing on fucking Kirk Cousins?
I never do. And the fact that I always remind people that, look, I get it. Everybody loves to make fun of Kirk Cousins, but I was like, we can't deny the fact the dude has a throwing arm, and I get pissed on for that. I've told you about this, haven't I? I get shit on for actually saying that Kirk Cousins isn't as bad as everybody likes to say. I get it. Kirk Cousins has basically become like Tony Romo. No one likes him. Nobody wants to give him credit.
But you know what, though? His numbers speak for himself. Yes, he's not great in prime time. That's all fine and good. Not everybody can handle the spotlight. But at the same right, he put up decent numbers, and I'm pretty sure he's got decent numbers for the majority of the season so far. So let's not totally crap on him right now. And once again, I'm not doing. Yes, I am a fan of the game. Okay, and this is where I'm going to have another little rant. Why? Because I can. Okay? I'm not doing this show just because I'm a fan of the game. Okay? I am coming on and I'm giving you legitimately an analytic point of view on the games. Okay? personally, I could give two shits if fucking Kirk Cousins doesn't win another game for the rest of the year. That may not actually be his fault. There are 11 guys on the other side of the ball that still have to stop the other team from doing something. So let's not totally crap on him. Don't crap on me for my opinion. I am coming here and giving you what is rightfully there. That is the point of this. We are here to not only talk football, but we're also here to talk and entertain you and inform you of things that are going on. You know, stuff that the analysts that get paid millions of dollars on TV for don't do.
Yeah, we should be getting paid that kind of money. And unfortunately for the Vikings, I heard today that Patrick Peterson was placed on the injured reserve.
He's done nothing for them all year, so it's not really.
I
really don't think that's a big loss.
I mean, the fact that Dalvin Cook had 140 yards on the ground, and Kirk Cousins good on the passing game, and they play the Cowboys not this week but next week. So this is definitely a game where I have a feeling you're going to tell me again you should have more faith in your team, Bear Man.
Well, I had faith in a team that nobody else did. That would be the still and only undefeated, undisputed Arizona Cardinals, who went in banged up worse than a freaking bag of produce that thrown down 10 flights of stairs. Going into the dog pound against the Cleveland Browns. Final score, Arizona 37, Cleveland 14. Baker Mayfield got taken out of this game like 2 or 3 times for injury reasons.
I think he has a separated shoulder now. I saw somewhere that it was diagnosed as a separated shoulder. That cannot be good.
And it's not something that's going to heal 100%. It will happen over and over and over and over again.
Going to be the point where surgery may be required.
And yes,
that's how I'm feeling.
Yes, there was no Cliff Kingsbury for this game, and did it matter?
Nope.
No,
it did not. And I actually still picked the Cardinals.
I picked the Cardinals for quite a few reasons.
And Kyler Murray will be number one.
It goes with the question that's going in our chat right now: is Kyler Murray for real? This is Kyler's 3rd year in the NFL.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
Okay.
I think you're right.
It is his 3rd year in the NFL.
Yeah, I will double check. It's definitely got to be the
okay.
And the Broncos critical fan confirmed the separated shoulder is not on Baker's throwing arm.
It's the non-throwing arm.
But still.
But it's still very painful, and it still does mess with mechanics and technique and all that lovely great shit.
Movement.
Okay.
Movement. Yes, it's 3 years. Yeah, he was his rookie year was in 2019.
Okay. So he is just starting year 3. Again, Kyler is not the prototypical quarterback. I'm going to make a slight comparison. I am not putting the total comparison on this. Passing the ball, he is like Brett Favre. The gunslinger, I am going to do what I can, when I can, how I can, to get the ball down the field, okay? He is that type of quarterback. He is a gunslinger. He throws the whole ball all over the yard. A.J. Green had a good game. D-Hop had a good game. The run game was fairly aggressive. And that Arizona defense did take a licking to the lovely Cleveland Browns, who now just currently lost Kareem Hunt. They didn't have Chubb. Baker looks like he's punch drunk. And it just begs the question now, are we at that point of the season where we can kind of say sayonara to the Cleveland Browns?
Well, as far as I wouldn't say just yet because, well, now if Baker Mayfield would be put on the injury reserve, then yeah, 100%. But now that we think about it, how long is Kareem Hunt out for? Can you confirm?
Well, he's out. He's going on the IR, so it's let's say minimum 4 weeks.
I think the IR is I think it's a minimum of 3 or 4 weeks. But that's a long time, especially at this point of the season because we're almost halfway there. So, and without the running game, I mean, the Browns are going to be overwhelmed. So, It's too early to say, but yeah, I'm not sure if the Browns are going to have a repeated success from last season.
And it looks like the trade rumors are now getting even bigger from Mr. OBJ. My God, how the mighty have fallen from grace. You were the ultimate Giants superstar. You get traded to the Cleveland Turds at the Browns. I mean, bringing the Browns to the Super Bowl, so on and so forth. And he has not been existent his entire time in Cleveland.
And he's missed time because of injuries, hasn't he?
I believe 2 out of the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think so. But I think the season he started off. I think he missed like 2 games. I think, and now that the trade talk is heating up, and the quick question is, which team could possibly get him?
Well, first off, he's not going to get traded for a boatload. Let's just say this right now.
No.
Okay?
It's not gonna be one of those big blockbuster franchise trades.
If he gets traded, okay, it's not going to be for another player this season. I look at him anywhere for a 5th or a 7th round draft pick, because nobody in their right mind is going to give up a 1st or a 2nd for an OBJ.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
Okay, it's going to be a lower round pick with possibilities of it growing to a next level pick after that, if he meets certain standards. For example, if he gets 65 if he plays in 65% of the rest of the games from week 7 on, it'll go from like a 5th to a 4th, or from a 6th to a 5th, or something like that. It's not going to be anything that's going to be over a 3rd round pick. Let's definitely be honest with this. Because a lot of people now are, again, 1st through 3rd round picks are not always guaranteed guys. And obviously that's happened over the course of history. Pick 199 with Mr. Thomas Edward Brady. He's won 7 Super Bowls. A lot of people are now valuing the lower picks than they are the higher picks.
And Deadspin has the Packers as a possible destination. But at this point, because of the injury history and like that, it really seems that his stock, Odell Beckham Jr.'s stock, has dropped because, like you said, I mean, he's not going to be traded for a 1st round pick.
Mr. Waldman says he gives up next level pick and the water boy. Another game where Mr. Stephen Walden has resurrected what I said from week 4. Oh, those lovely, lovely John Grudenless Vegas Raiders travel to Mile High. Von Miller, Teddy Bridgewater hosting the Raiders on Sunday afternoon. Final score, Raiders 34, Broncos 24. Now, Bearman, you were on when I said it.
I was.
The Broncos started off the year 0-3. Many a Bronco fan, including my friend, Mr. Kurt Valenti of the K&K Sports Show, got really, really happy. Oh, the Broncos are 3-0. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
And I spoke about this because the question was, the Broncos were 3-0, but my question to you, Mr. Litwinkowich Jr. Nope, didn't mean to say that. Sorry,
okay.
Mr. Ricky. But who exactly did the Broncos beat to amass a 3-0 record?
3 teams that had a combined record of 0-9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, 2 of those were New York teams, by the way. Listen. You know those 3 letters that I love to use so much?
Mm-hmm.
They came to fruition.
Why don't you tell them again? For all time's sakes, let's hear them.
Out of the immortal words of Stone Cold's mouth. Don't trust anyone.
Trust anybody.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I said it. I say it every year. The first 3 weeks of the NFL season, a team can go on a run, and then miraculously stub their toe and go headfirst into the crapper. Since that lovely 3-0 start, the Broncos are now 3-3. How the mighty have fallen once again. Now, don't get me wrong. They didn't have Teddy Bridgewater for one game because of the concussion. Okay? That's fine. But the Broncos' offense, their wide receiving core, is still banged up. Okay? Still banged up. The defense has been out on the field way too much. And let's top it off and turn around and say this. The Raiders came into this game with a mindset.
They did.
They rallied around their temporary head coach, and they hind and quartered the Broncos. Okay? This Raiders team looked like it did the first few weeks, even when the games were close. But this Raiders team had a lot of piss and vinegar running through them in week 6.
And the fact that I picked the Raiders because, the interim head coach, Mr. Rich Bisaccia, is a guy I'm very familiar with because he spent a couple of years with the Cowboys as the special teams coach. And that dude has a passion for coaching. He's been in the league. He's coached for a very long time. So I knew that his expertise would, his hard work would eventually pay off. And, and even though it's for an interim basis, I'm not sure if they're going to retain him as a long-term head coach because Mr. Bisaccia, his environment is more like the special teams and kind of things like that. But, either way, Mr. Bisaccia is going nowhere. But, dude did a good job. I mean, the Raiders needed to be set free from the whole Gruden drama. So, Raiders will continue to build. But now we got to move on. And now this is where it turns into Ricky versus Alex Alcazaz. Because
hold on one second. I want to go to mention week 6. Before we even get to the game of the week, before we get to the Sunday night football, before we get to Monday night football, week 6 was not a good week to celebrate anything. Here is your history for the week. Write this one down. Giants celebrate the 2011 Super Bowl team. End result, sodomy. Sean Taylor gets his jersey number finally retired by the Washington football team. Smacked bitch up by the Chiefs. Shanahan's ring ceremony in Denver. Raiders pull out the big fatty and smoke the Broncos. Was not a good weekend for anybody to celebrate anything. Okay?
Nope.
Just be happy that there was football on TV for week 6. Because if you celebrated something, that home team got hogtied, quartered, smoked, balloon knot played with, everything. The whole 9 yards. So, let's better prepare the celebrations for teams that we definitely know we should beat instead of getting, sodomized by. Now we can move to the game of the week.
Well, my Dallas Cowboys versus your New England Patriots. And I got to remind everybody, because even though you're a native New Yorker, I mean, as you say, you've been a Patriots fan since 1986, right?
85.
85.
That just goes to show with the age of the hair on my face.
But, I mean, there's a lot of facts of this game, but I'm going to get straight to the point. Dallas's first win against the New England Patriots since 1996. Okay, and their first road win against the Patriots since 1987. And from this game, Dallas scoring touchdown number 2,500. That's the most. I mean, and the Cowboys have been around since 1960, so that's the most. That's the most touchdowns scored on a team, since 1960. So that's something huge. But this game, it's not about the records we're going to talk about. It's the fact this game was poorly officiated, and I had a feeling you and I were going to get into it about this game, like big time. We were kind of going to break away and say, no, you guys got away with this.
The Cowboys fucking shot themselves in the foot way too many times in this game. Holding penalties, false starts. It was almost like playing a game of NFL Blitz. If it wasn't first and 20 or first and 15 or second and 20 or something like that, I don't think the Cowboys really, was sitting there being great.
But you have to admit, the Patriots got away with several penalties, including two late hits on Mr. Dak Prescott. Even you have to admit it.
You know what? I hate to say it. And yeah, the Patriots did get a few calls thrown their way. But also at the same rate, I think the game would have been a lot different, again, if Dallas didn't have as many penalties as they did. Because I don't believe the Patriots got a penalty until the second half, if I was watching it correctly.
There was definitely not a penalty on them on the first quarter.
Okay? But it goes to show that these two teams, even though they're in opposite directions, the Cowboys have won 5 in a row. They've legit played good ball. Overall, they've played good ball. All right? However, they do still have a lot of immaturity on their team. Mm-hmm. And as much as you want to say that Diggs right now is like the most amazing ball hawk on the planet, if he didn't goof in the fourth quarter, the game never ends that way. Yeah. It never potentially ends as that kind of a shootout with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Totally, and I got to answer Mr. Wallman's question. And before that, I would tell people, stop comparing Trayvon Diggs to Deion Sanders. Just do not. No. But to Mr. Stephen Waldman, Dak Prescott is okay for the most part. He did say it was the MRI diagnosed it as a calf strain, and it was just and there was nothing bad. If it was that bad, it would have been immediately all reported. It's just one of those typical calf strains, which is a typical football injury that takes like 3 to 5 days to heal. And it's the bye week, so Dak Prescott's going to be fine. Prescott confirmed that the walking boot was merely a precaution. If Prescott tore something, he would not have been able to get up on his own, and the whole situation would be different. There's nothing to worry about Dak Prescott. And as far as the calf strain goes, I've wrestled with one before. They're not that bad. Well, I suffered one, and then I rehabbed, and then I came back and wrestled. So, but football's different. But no, there's nothing to worry about Dak, and Dak's going to be good to go as far as playing the Vikings. And and Mr. Critical Broncos fans obviously wants to remind me about the fumble. Yeah, Dak Prescott did fumble at that goal line, but what bothers me is that on the previous play on that third down, I can't confirm that he scored because it's hard to tell. But what bothers me is that the referees just didn't bother checking; they didn't bother reviewing it. That's just what bothers me.
Bernard, what's doing? Again. I understand that it is game of the week. It's Dallas. It's New England. I think that the momentum really completely shifted in that game on the Cowboys drive where they go for 4th and 1 with Zeke. They fall a half yard short. You gave the Patriots a lot of momentum throughout that entire game. Mm-hmm. And let's not throw a lot of this under the bus. Yes, the Patriots defense is not billed to what it's supposed to be right now. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's banged up, but it's also at this point, it's currently average. Okay? Yeah, but definitely. Then again, years past goes to show that you don't have to have a great Patriots defense to win a Super Bowl. And I'm not saying at this point right now that's going to be the outcome. But by any right, the Patriots could be 4-2 right now. Yeah. They could be 4-2 right now. They could be 5-1 right now. Okay, yes, they got blown out by the Saints. Week 3. That's gonna happen. Okay, but again, Mac Jones had a critical mistake in the fourth quarter. He comes back and he goes, "Hey, I'm going to atone for my mistake. I'm going to throw it 75 yards to Kendrick Bourne and let him run." Okay? And yeah. I'm actually good to say with this, though, that Mr. Diggs became extremely humble after that play because he was all ranted and raving, and then he makes a mistake because he doesn't get a cover move. And, he became completely humble after that. And I hope that's a mistake that he kind of learns from.
He fucking better. That's all I can say. He fucking better.
But you know what? It's one of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyway, Ricky, good game. Good game.
I thought it was a great game from beginning to finish. To be honest with you. I mean, I was also listening to it in the car instead of watching it the way I'm really supposed to. But
I'm not going to deny the fact in overtime when the Patriots, went 3-0. No, Anthony Brown got away with a face mask. But this is an argument I got with the Patriots. I'm like, well, you guys got away with two late hits on Dak Prescott, and now look at the Cowboy gets away with that penalty. Overall, both teams are hurt by it because when officiating is so poor, it not only hurts both teams that are involved in this match, but it hurts it damages the reputation of the sport. So,
all right.
So at the end of the day, the officiating made both teams made them both look bad.
All right, Sunday Night Football. As I find out that the LA Dodgers just tied Game 3.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna be hearing that all night. Anyways, we had a lovely game of football at Heinz Field, the land of the ketchup. Seattle, the Russell Wilson, the Mr. Wilson list. Seattle Seahawks went to Ben Roethlisberger country. Final score: Pittsburgh 23, Seattle 20. Another overtime game. And let's not say that the Seahawks did not have a chance in this game. They did fight back in the fourth.
They did.
They fought back in the fourth quarter, which is one of the things I was kind of deathly afraid of. Thank God I split my picks, one between ESPN and one through our show, which probably did make a big difference. Wilson was throwing pregame, although he's still probably maybe 3 weeks away. Minimum, he's 3 weeks away. He says he has 73% bending capability in his broken middle finger. I still don't know if that's enough to save the Seattle Seahawks, but I will say that the end of the game was typical Geno Smith. They had 5 guys on TJ Watt, and he still sacked.
Mm-hmm.
He still sacked them.
And the fact that me as a Cowboy fan, we took Taco Charlton when TJ Watt was right there. God damn it. Oh, but it is what it is. But for Geno Smith, because a guy that that used to work at my dad's restaurant, who was a very loyal and good employee, is a graduate of West Virginia, and he's a huge supporter of Geno Smith. So I was really hoping if the Seahawks win, it makes my friend happy. I mean, that'll make me happy because he's that good friend. He's loyal. He's about as great as a friend as you are, Ricky, and a good mentor. But Geno Smith's numbers definitely not great, but good enough that kept him in the game. And for a guy that's been a backup most of his career, that started his career with the Jets, I mean, I would still say, well, you know what? At least he still got it. He still has a job as a backup. So we can't deny that Geno Smith is not a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback, but Seattle had their chances, but they just couldn't get it done.
Yes, TJ was drafted as a linebacker, although now he's playing defensive end. But he does fit that role both ways. I'm just going to say this, okay? As much as Geno Smith has not really played very much in the last few years, yes, he was the one that ended Eli Manning's consecutive game streak. Now he sits there and he takes Russell Wilson's spot in the consecutive game streak. That's all he's really known for. Oh, and also the locker room fight that he got his jaw broken. Okay?
I forgot about that.
Geno Smith has not been anything viable in the NFL his entire career. I believe he's been in the NFL 7 seasons already.
Since 2013 was his first.
Yeah, so he's in year 8 now, okay?
Yeah, year 8.
He's not done anything significant. He's 31 years old, and he's given the keys to the Buick, and he's turned it into a Pinto. Let's leave it at that, okay?
Yeah.
He's gone from Buick to Pinto. Like, he has potential. The problem is that he always gets on a team, A, that doesn't have a great offensive line. They have amazing weapons all over the place, but he always gets on a team that never has an offensive line. Or they don't have a running game.
It's unfortunate, really, because he was a great college football quarterback. He was a great quarterback during his days at West Virginia. So overall,
I have a
It's
feeling.
unfortunate, but you're right. I mean, there's really not much to say because what you just said basically explains it crystal clear.
But again,
You're spot on, my friend. You are spot on.
no, I definitely would not go with a Prius. A Pinto, yeah, that's a piece of crap. At least a Prius hums when you drive, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I ain't never driven one. I'm a Honda guy.
No.
I'm
You
a
know,
Honda
if you follow the guy with the puppets, you'll know about the Prius.
guy.
Especially Walter, who makes fun of the Prius all the time.
Oh, boy.
All right.
But
I know one of our
Monday Night Football now.
One of our staff members is very, very angry right now. And that would be Mr. Jamal Edwards, whom, like me, thought that this was going to be a totally different game. What's up, Melvin? How's it going? Yes, I really thought this was going to be a totally different game on Monday night. Man, was I wrong. Because I will say this. Okay, I will say this. Yes,
go ahead.
It was a good game. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I did. It wasn't the fact that it wasn't the fact that I wasn't going to doubt King Henry's ability. I still have no faith in frickin' what's
Ryan
his name?
Tannehill.
Tannehill. Still have no faith in him. Tennessee defense did show up.
They did. And, in my case, well, Josh Allen played well enough to give me the points for the win in fantasy football. But, that game, if it were up to me, I would have just kicked the field goal because, it's better safe than sorry. So I would have probably just go with the field goal. If I have all my faith in the quarterback, you know what? I say, well, he can get it done. He can get it done in overtime. So let's take at least a little bit of pressure off of him. But I can't criticize Sean McDermott for going for it. I mean, just because you go to overtime, I mean, it's not like it's going to guarantee you the win. But
shout out to Jason Rodriguez, by the way, who is becoming my new bestie because he's now showing up for all the shows, and he does have a really, really good gaming channel. So if you are available to find him on any of the platforms, go follow his stuff, please. Okay.
Do me a favor, brother. Send me your channel. Send me the link to Spotify if your show's on Spotify. I love video games. Send it to me, brother. You support me, I will support you, brother. And thank you so much for tuning in, brother.
So, I will say this though, I don't agree with the play calling. First off, in the fourth quarter for the Buffalo Bills, you've got 5 minutes and you are deciding that you are going to milk the clock. Tennessee really, really made Buffalo say, hey, you know what? We're not going to call any timeouts because we're going to have you waste all this time. And we're going to wait for you to make the weirdest St. Louis and Arizona pun, the cardinal mistake. Okay? The Pope is making the cardinal mistake. That's exactly what ended up happening. They said, okay, you know what? We're just not gonna stop you. We're not gonna stop the clock. We're gonna make you think you've got this in the bag, and we're gonna sit there and say, hey, Mother, Father, Holy Spirit, amen. And yeah, we made you mess up at the 1 yard line. You couldn't get in. Game over. Honestly, if I'm sitting there as the head coach, fourth down, what do you do in a game? If the game is that close, okay, I will put everybody in this spot, all right? I put you as the coach of the Buffalo Bills.
Me?
Yes. I put you. You have under 30 seconds left, okay? You are down by 3 in the same position. Obviously, you know what the outcome was. Do you kick the field goal?
Probably because, like I said, I'm the guy that would say better safe than sorry. But if I knew that if Tennessee would have the worst fourth down defense in the league, I still would not have gone with the quarterback sneak because they would have expected that. So I would have tried something like if they get set for the quarterback sneak, do a play change without them noticing, and then catch them by surprise. That's the way to do it. But at the same time, like I said, better safe than sorry. I probably would have just kicked the field goal. I'm not getting criticized for it, but like I said, Tennessee had been playing great all game. So at this point, there's no point of underestimating now. So just go for the field goal. Play it safe. So at the end of the day, it would have been a decision either way. There would have been consequences. So I mean, I was basically I'm cornered, and I'm the only one that can break out of it. But either way, there's gonna be criticism on me. So there's no. So at the end of the day, I mean, there would be much difference, but
Well, at this point right now, I probably rather would have sat there and said, "Hey, I'm going to play for overtime," and at least I have a better shot of maybe taking advantage of that vaunted secondary that has been piss poor for the Titans all year long. So yeah, I think that's kind of maybe the way I would rather have handled it. But
I would have definitely, yeah, but yeah, and Mr. Critical Broncos fan, basically, he would have gone for the field goal too, because he would say that he would not let Henry have the ball last because there was still some time, but you know, that's my point right there. Either way, there would have been consequences to either way if I had gone for it or if I had kicked the field goal. I mean, either way, like I said, I'm cornered, and the only person that can get out of it is me.
okay, so that's the end of week 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to talk about week 7. I really don't even want to cover this game because this is the ultimate trap game. Ultimate trap game. We have the Denver Broncos traveling to the hapless, neutered Dog Pound in Cleveland, Ohio. Thursday Night Football. Broncos, Browns, right off the bat. Again, this is a game that somebody's getting screwed in the pooch. Big time. And maybe figuratively the pooch. This is Cleveland as a 3-point favorite. 43 under over. I'll go with you, Bear Man.
Man. Well, Cleveland, they're now with, well, what are the chances that Nick Chubb plays this week?
Out.
So that's 2 running backs out. So the running game is practically dead, which is going to help the Broncos. Now, the fact that Baker Mayfield is banged up, Odell Beckham Jr., I mean, we don't even know if he's going to be with the Browns by the time this game. Well, okay, you know what? No, I think he's going to be with the Browns this week, but.
Well, trade deadline is what, week 8?
Week 8, yes. But, he's been ineffective, so. As bad as the Broncos have been, there's still a chance out there. But, Teddy Bridgewater is going to, and the Broncos, all the injuries on their side. So both teams are banged up and disadvantaged. So, that being said, it's hard for me to actually make a pick. But.
I hate to say it, but the consensus might actually be to go with the home team.
Probably, but even though I am picking the Browns, I'm not gonna rule. I'm not gonna count out the Broncos. I mean, I hope the critical Bronco fan doesn't hate me, but it's like this. I'm picking the Browns, but I would not be surprised if the Broncos pulled it off. I mean, like you said, both teams are so badly disadvantaged; it could go either way. But it feels like at the end, it comes down to you might as well go with the hometown team. But the Broncos still have a chance. And speaking of that, Von Miller, here's a little thing from CBS Sports. Von Miller has sent a message to whoever plays tackle for Browns this week, and I quote, "I'm going to kill him." So that means he's guaranteeing a dominant performance.
Ah.
And Mr. Critical Bronco says the starting linebacker is out for the season.
I really have to put my Thursday night record on the line for this game.
Man, you're cornered now, buddy.
Oh yeah, I'm cornered because I'm looking at the Vegas numbers right now. Actually, you know what? This is how I'll decide it. Right, hold on. Because this is how I did it last week. Now, I'm just to let you know, I do have a little notebook in my phone, and I write these notes down for reasons. So let me just see here. Week 7. Okay, so as bad as the numbers sound for like both teams, Browns 9th offense, Denver 13th. 2 top 5 defenses, the top 10 defenses. My apologies. Cleveland can't pass balls for shit, minus the running game, and Denver is at 12th for both. Last meeting was Broncos 24, Denver. Was Broncos 24, Browns 19. Way back in 2019. So they haven't played each other in 2 years.
Old rivals. Historical in the playoffs, AFC Championship.
Who do I want to get ass beaten by for? I was just still saying we have to go with the home team.
I mean, even the critical Broncos dude himself saying he's going with the Browns.
My luck, it'll be like with the Pats game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to study this Broncos team because soon they have to play. They come to Arlington to play Dallas.
I don't know if I really want to cement Cleveland.
Yeah, it's like I said. This is a game. I mean, I knew that you and I were gonna have a hard time with this one, but the way it comes down to, the safe bet is to go with the home team. But like I said, in my case, I just cannot count out the Broncos. And the fact that the Broncos still have a top 10 defense despite all the injuries, that's something.
All right, wait a sec. This is how we're gonna break it down. We're gonna do the same thing that he did on Saturday, before we cement the pick. All right.
All right.
Defensively, who's better, Denver or Cleveland?
Maybe Cleveland.
When you got Von Miller, I don't know. Is Bradley Chubb playing?
I believe he just said no. The Browns aren't going to have Chubb, but it's so critical Broncos. But Denver is just a bad team. Yeah,
no, I mean, do they have Bradley Chubb, not Nick Chubb?
But go back to Mr. Von Miller. I mean, Von Miller is basically the point of his career where the prime is. Nope. It says a month ago that he underwent surgery a month ago, although it was arthroscopic.
Cleveland can't stop anybody. They get 49 to the Chargers. All right. Wide receiver, who's better? Currently, right now.
Maybe the Broncos, with Cortland Sutton, SMU guy.
Who's better right now, Baker or Bridgewater?
Boy. Well, one of them's recovering from a concussion. One of them has a separated shoulder on his non-throwing arm. So probably, I would say probably Baker.
So both of them are marked for death.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next tier. Who's the Browns' backup quarterback?
Is it Case Keenum?
Versus who?
Is Jake Hurt? Is that his name? Jake Hurt? Something like that.
Who's the backup quarterback? Teddy has a foot injury. So that would mean... Oh, what the hell is his name? I can't remember the guy for Denver. Quarterback.
It's actually
Drew Lock.
Driscoll.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. Drew Lock.
Okay, so it's technically Drew Lock versus Case Keenum if Baker Mayfield dies. Who do you go with that? I hate to say Case Keenum's probably got a better case record than Drew Lock. I don't know. Somebody's dying in this game. Yeah, I'm going to lock Cleveland. Fuck it. I'm going to lock Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, Von Miller is 32 years old, and I mean he's still playing good. But the Broncos are just not what they were. Not long ago, from 2012 to about 2015. Yeah, they're not the Super Bowl caliber Broncos anymore, but they're still the Broncos.
All right, yeah, I'm locking Cleveland. If it doesn't win, it doesn't win. I'll just have to go undefeated for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah. That's, I mean,
Yeah, like that's
I go with
happening,
Cleveland.
right? That's happening.
Yeah, big time.
All right. So that's it for tonight's episode of Arch Rivals. Week 6 is in the book. Week 7 starting with a game that I hope potentially both teams blow up in the stadium because they had to put us through this misery of picking the game. Bearman, you got any final words?
No, sir.
All right.
Well,
so
no Cowboys football this week for me, but well, at least everything's gonna be fine.
Yep, and we get to see the New York Jets on Sunday. Go me! Yeah, I'm really happy. That's besides the point. All right, so this show will be back on Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and then on every, and I mean every audio platform known to man. The podcast episodes do now post to not only Podpage, but they also do now post to Facebook. So if you get the chance, you don't want to watch our ugly mugs on screen, you can still sit there, hit the play button, and listen to the show. And if you know people, like that Critical Broncos fan who's going to be probably guesting on Saturday with us, you know anybody else that would like to talk football with us, remember, this is a show for the fans, by fans. Pipe Bomb has been putting out some really great shit over the last 4 years, and we just want to keep that train rolling. So spread the word. Pipe Bomb Radio NYC tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pain Train Pipe Bomb on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. More radio on Friday, and then this show on Saturday. That's the schedule for the rest of the week. Besides that, hope you guys have a great evening. Enjoy Thursday Night Football, and we will catch you guys later.
Hey, did you like that show? Like, share, follow, subscribe. Share out our shows to all of your social media. Need merchandise? Check out paintrainpipebomb.threadless.com for quality merchandise at great prices. Tune in next time for another edition of Arch Rivals Football, and we'll catch you on the flip side.